live this way in so long. Okay, I think I'm live. Hey everyone, it's Jackie. Anyone who comes by, I'm just going to wait a few minutes here. Hey Flower, want to come say hi? Come say hi, Flower. Waiting for someone to be here. Say so, Flower. Let's say hi, Flower. Hi, Flower. Jet up. Oh, it's a pretty girl. Hey everyone, so it's Jackie. I wanted to do just a quick live. I was sitting here on the porch, and I have been thinking lately about when I'm not feeling that great, trying to pull back memories from my past that have given me joy and helped to uplift my spirit. So, as I was thinking about that the other day, it made me think about the when I was growing up. So it brought me back right away to when I was growing up because I had a lot of really great times growing up, and I was trying to compare it to times compared to now, kids growing up now compared to kids growing up whenever I grew up in the 70's and 80's. And I wanted to just share some of those things that I used to go through. And if anyone's here in chat and you grew up in the 70's and 80's, maybe you can connect with some of these really great things that I went through at that time and experienced and chose to put my energy and time into, and I just thought it was really great. So, one of the first things I thought of whenever I was growing up, of course, it's summertime right now. Hi, Alex. It's summertime right now, and so I literally just got out of the pool, my hair dried, and I remember swimming a lot. Whenever I grew up, I hope you can all hear me okay because I'm outside and there's probably background noise. But when I was growing up, we had a swimming pool and I swam a lot. And what I remember about swimming was that all your friends would come over and, hi, Cappy, all your friends would come over and swim. So it was great because just for me growing up, having a swimming pool was like a central hub for like lots of, hey everyone, hi Seven, hi Heidi. Everyone would come over and swim in the pool. So like my house was one of those central hubs where we just all hung out. It was like the summertime hangout. But one of my other favorite things there was when we would get out of the pool, of course it would be hot, but I was always very athletic growing up. So I like to do all the like sportsy type things. Well, we had this game. I don't even know if they even have it anymore. I think it was called Jokari. And it was like this rubbery ball on the end of a string. And then it had like this really sand weighted base. I'm in Indiana. A sand weighted base that you would put in the road, and you had a paddle. And there would be two of you playing. And we would play this game. You would hit it back, it would hit on the other end, and then come back to you, and then the other person would hit it, and you go back and forth. So kind of like a Tennessee type game, racquetball type game. We would play this game for hours and hours and hours, and we'd have tournaments all summer long, and it was just so much fun. The 80's were the best. Another good memory, these are just memories that just pulled up, and it just gave me such a great sense of happiness and joy, and I just made me want to think like maybe some people need to go through this right now where if you're not feeling the best or there's just lots of shit going on in the world right now, maybe you just need to go back and like pull something from your past that was just such a great memory. So another great memory was we would play this game growing up. Now in the 70's, 80's, 90's, when we were growing up, we were allowed to be outside as late as you wanted, as long as you wanted. There was no one watching you. Hi, Baba. No one watching you or anything. So you'd go out and you just do whatever you want to do. You ride your bike around the whole neighborhood. You just wait for your mom or dad to whistle, and that was your like notice that it was time for you to come in. Or as my mom would do, she would scream at the top of her lungs, "Jackie!" And then I knew it would be time to come in. So what we would do is we'd play this game where we would blindfold. There'd be like probably two of us, and we would blindfold the other person, and then we would walk them around. We would walk them around the whole neighborhood, and we would walk them around the whole neighborhood and try to like turn them around, and we'd walk all over, and then we would see if they could guess where in the neighborhood that they were, and then if see how close or far it was whenever they took the blindfold off, because most of the time they had or I had no idea where I was, and that was like a fun little game we used to play too. So oh, you'd make bow and arrows all day. That's cool. And huts. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We make huts. Oh, we would do these in the. We had a little bit of woods behind our house, and in the dirt we would make. I was a little bit of a tomboy. We would make these. Me and the neighbor kids would make these dirt ramps for our little Hot Wheel cars. I mean, they were extravagant. Like we would spend all day making these ramps, and we'd get rocks and then build it up and make little hills, and then we would blindfold. Yeah, you would get rested today. You're right, Bubba. But we would just play all day. We'd make these whole courses with our little hi Lee, with our little Matchbox cars, and that was a really great memory. Also, tree climbing. I did a lot of tree climbing whenever I was growing up. We had some trees in the yard, and that was my meditation time. That was the time whenever I'd be upset or lonely or just wanted to be away from everyone, I would go climb a tree. I would spend hours just sitting in a tree. No one could see me. No one knew where I was at. And really, no, when you're growing up in that time and age, no one was really looking for you because, nobody would, you were on your own. It was great. You had your own, sovereignty, even as a child or a teenager growing up, which was always great. So that was another memory. I'm trying to think of some more. If any of you have any cool ones, put in the chat. Hours in the trees. We would, what else did we used to do? We'd have flag football tournaments, like in the yards. We would we had two like front yards that were like really good, nice and open. We would play like flag football. We'd get a bunch of kids together, and girls and boys, it didn't matter, and play some flag football. That was always fun. And then what else do we do? Oh, the one time we're getting a little bit older here, probably closer into the 80s when I was in high school. We would you'd tell one parent that you were sleeping over the other kid's house, and then the other kid's parent, she'd say she was sleeping over at your house. So you'd like have a whole free night of nobody knowing like what you were doing or where you were at, and you were like kind of covered. So I'll tell you the one time we would. Oh yes, Heidi. Me and my one friend. So we said we were sleeping over at each other's houses, and then we had this place. It was called Gamerama. And it had, like the Pac-Man, Centipede, and, all those games. And it was open probably till like on a Friday or Saturday night till like midnight. And so it was a weekend night. And then we could actually walk there. It was kind of a little bit of a walk, but we could walk there. So we walked there. We hung out at Gamerama for a little while. And then we were going to sleep outside somewhere. We didn't even have a plan. We just said we're going to sleep out somewhere. So, because neither of us wanted to go home, or because we couldn't, because we already said we were at the other person's house. So what we did, we ended up climbing into, hi Moose, we ended up climbing up into a tree in my friend's yard. I think we grabbed some blankets or something. We slept up in a tree all night just because we wanted to be out all night, and that's what we did. Oh wait, I want to see what Heidi read. Riding bikes to the mall, and playing video games. And then we would just go. Our parents would drop us off. We had no phones. You'd have to use a payphone. We'd have to use a payphone to like get a ride back, unless you had to set your watch when you knew they were going to pick you up. So we would get dropped off at the mall all day long. And these malls were like packed, and it was so much fun. And you just like meet up with friends or flirt with boys, or like meet up with boys from the other school district that was real close to us, like in between. And so you'd meet like new people. And then if you had a little bit of money, you might buy something. You'd always go to the pizza place and get a slice of pizza and a Coke for sure when you were there. And then whenever you were ready to be picked up, we would do, because if you didn't have money on you, or it was like the trick back then, you would put money in and then make a, what do they call those calls where you call back and it's just like hang up, and then your parents knew that that was a, what was your favorite board game? Okay. So, oh, I'm going to add this. I don't know. I never did this. Okay, I'm going to try that. Whatever. What was your favorite board game? Sure. Um, so you would, oh, so they would just know it was time to pick you up. So you didn't have to like spend your quarter, actually spend your quarter. That was crazy. What else? And then you didn't have no worries. It was like you were out and about. No one ever had any worries. Oh, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say no one had any worries because I do remember one time there was the white van with no windows that came through our neighborhood when I was growing up. I really do remember that. Yeah, Clue was fun. Monopoly, yeah. What other board? Oh, we used to do, what was it? Risk? Was that the name of the game? We'd like spend weeks playing Risk. Yeah, but there was the shady white van that did go through our neighborhood that people were talking about. That was a little bit of a worry, but it wasn't overemphasized at the time. So yeah, Risk was fun. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Any other really great memories from growing up that was like different than how people live now? I'll say, you girls would especially know this one. We all laid out in the sun in the middle of summer with, what did we put on our skin, girls, when we would lay out? Oh, the collect call. Thank you, Lee. What did we all put on to lay out in the sun? It wasn't called sunscreen. Remember what it's called? Baby oil. And we fry ourselves all day and in the sun to get our suntan. Yeah. There was no, I don't even know if there even was sunscreen back then. Yeah. Oh, books that had 3 different endings. That was always cool too. Yeah, I like that one too. Car driver. So, anything else? Oh, party lines on the phone. Yeah, that was a great one too. That was a good one. Yep. And oh, in the phones that had the really long cord so that you could drag your cord like into the other room so your mom or dad couldn't hear what you're talking to who or like what you were talking to on the phone. That was always fun. Yeah. Candyland. Oh yeah, Candyland was fun. We still play Candyland. Candyland's still out there. Party lines, yeah. Oh my gosh, Flower. Come here, Flower. It's okay. It's okay. Shh, it's okay. I'm trying to think what else. There was, oh, in the summer, I used to make, okay, I'm getting rid of this board game thing. I don't like it. It's in my face. I don't know, I can't get rid of it. So also, in the summer, I used to do this thing. I don't know if anyone else did this. I think I made it up. I think this is like a Jackie owned thing. We would have a sleepover, and I would call it the bubble tent. And it was hot. In the 70's, 80's, and 90's, most people didn't have air conditioning. So we had fans that you'd have to run like 24/7 to keep cool. So what we would do is we'd have a sleepover and we would, put some blankets out on the floor, and then we would get sheets and we would connect them with like pins or not clothespins because they were too heavy. So we kind of pinned them together, and then we would make this bubble, and then we would tuck it underneath the blankets or pillows in the bottom, and you put a fan. Excuse me. You'd put a fan in the front of the bubble tent and kind of close the fan in and turn it on, and then you'd have like a little entrance way to get into it, so it would blow up like a big bubble, like you were in a bubble, and it had a fan going all night. So that's how we kept cool for our sleepovers at Jackie's house in the summer. Oh yeah, yes, Lee, cool, yes, yeah, bubble tent. Okay, you guys did it too. Awesome. And if you haven't done a bubble tent with your kids or grandkids, I think it's time for them to get introduced to the bubble tent. The only thing, yeah, hi, Flower. The only thing with the bubble tent was, by morning, it usually still wasn't a bubble tent, or in the middle of the night, you'd have to get up and go to the bathroom, and then the bubble tent would just like collapse on you. And then, that was the end of the bubble tent. Yeah. Oh, mixtapes. Yeah, no, not just mixtapes, but you'd be so obsessed as a teen with a song or a middle schooler that you would literally slip and slide too. Yeah, you would take. I had my radio player, a tape cassette player, and then I would go and have to write down all the lyrics to the words. So you'd have to hit start, and then you would write like one sentence worth of words and hit stop and write it down, and then get the next one until you had all the lyrics to the song. Because you couldn't just like look up lyrics. Well, sometimes they have them on the infold. But if they didn't have them on infold, or if you taped them off of something else and you wanted the lyrics, you would have to go and write them all down. It would take like forever to do, but at least then you had all the lyrics. Yeah, that was true. Yeah. And mixtapes were the best. They were so much fun. I wish I still had my mixtapes because our friend Tony, Sky took my drones, Tony. He sent us an old boom box that has a tape cassette player that he rebuilt, and it's so great. That's just awesome. Like the thing with listening to music on your phone or a device, when Tony sent us this old boom box from who knows when, and we just play the radio through it and put the antenna up for it, the energy that comes through there and like the frequency coming out of the airwaves is so different, and like it makes you feel so good. We always take it outside now. We turn it up, we crank it up. The girls love to dance to it, and it's a great thing too. So boom boxes, that was another thing for sure. Were good times. Yeah, and then you'd swap your mixtapes, or you make a mixtape for your boyfriend, or your boyfriend would make one for you, and it was like so sentimental. That was good times. Also, I remember like money was never really a big issue back then. I remember like my mom raised us as a single mother because my dad died when I was 3. So of course she had his Social Security, but she never worked the whole time I grew up, and we were not well off by any means, but we were always well provided for. We always got the things we needed, and we got to have our mom at home. So it was like the best time to like grow up then, just even for those reasons. Um, the economy was just so much better back then, so that made it better too. Oh, and then in the summer you go to the local pool, but it wasn't like going to the local pool now. I don't know. It was like everyone went there on the weekend. You'd hang out with your friends at the local pool, and to get your suntan on and have snacks, and you just spend the whole day there. That was fun. Yeah. Oh yeah, we know how to use our imagination for sure. That was great. Oh, the other one thing I wanted to mention about compared to now compared to then, and it brought to me mind because I was watching a video recently, and I realized how to non-connected to famous people or movie actors I am now compared to then. I feel like the age of the actors or the actresses or the even the musicians now, there's not that strong pull towards them as there were back then. Like if I'll even say I really loved Keanu Reeves back in the day when I was, late teenager, early 20s, and I had a major thing for him. But I would even say like right now, like if he just walked down my sidewalk right here, he just like, yeah, walk down my sidewalk. Um, it would have like no effect on me. I don't know where like that whole Hollywood thing totally is not a thing anymore, and I'm glad. Thank God for that. But just the pull compared to like the stardom with the MTV starting and everything like that. Um, how everyone with like MTV and the movies and just different things like that, everyone was so awestruck with famous people back then and artists and musicians. So, yeah. All right, I gotta take a breath. I hope everyone's doing great. Today is Sunday. I worked night shift last night and only slept like 2 or 3 hours when I got home, so I've been just kind of like bouncing around all day. Yeah, we're not starstruck anymore, are we, Heidi? It's like but it feels like there's like that connect, like something got severed, where they don't have that power over us anymore. Like that, like spell got broken, and it's just not there anymore. And I think that they realize. I think they realize that. So it's like they're like pulling for straws for anything, for any kind of attention or energy to get from us, and it's not there anymore. And so what does something do when energy is not given to it anymore? I think it withers up and dies. because it's not good. That's what I think. Yeah. So, I don't know. This was just a quick short. I just wanted to release some of those things. Yeah, the magic spell's over, Lee. You got it. The magic spell's over. Leanne, I wanted to show you my pretty flowers here. Oh my God, look. Look how good they're doing. Anyway, I'm trying to think, what else was there? What else was there that was just so glorious about that time to grow up in? I'll say family, also family gatherings. Like back then growing up, we always had family gatherings like on a weekly or at least like bi-weekly basis. Not only family gatherings, but neighbor gatherings. My mom had a card group who would come over like on a Friday or Saturday night, and her friends, they'd play poker, like, like penny poker, on the weekends. And it was great, like, because their kids would come over, so all the kids would be playing in the basement or outside or whatever, while their moms or dads were playing cards. And oh yeah, drive-in movies, that was good too. And then also just the family get-togethers, like it was constant that you were getting together, like whether it was like every Sunday we go to grandma's, or every, you spent the night at your aunt's a lot, those kind of things, which I feel like is not quite as much as it is anymore. Yeah. So, drive-in movies, yeah, the freedom. Yeah, that was great. It was great. And so, like, if you take all those things out of the picture, which a lot of them are out of the picture now, whenever, shh, Flower, it's okay, baby. Whenever, like, as I'm reminiscing now to try to pull back some good energy when I might not be feeling it, what is the generations now that are growing up, whenever they get a little bit older and they're struggling and they're finding it hard to even find like the memories of the past 20 minutes that we've all just brought up, that have, I know everyone in here is feeling some kind of reminiscent joy, happiness, connection to that. What are they going to have? I think it's a time of the turnaround where we're going to begin to have to change these things for our kids so that they do have certain memories or certain fond things that they can think of to help lift them up out of bad places or bad spots. That's kind of like what I'm feeling. So, yeah, it is a good point, isn't it? That's what I was kind of thinking about, because I thought it's really easy for me to just go back and pull those memories out, or even memories of my like early 20s, or like when I first got my first career job, when I was with my first husband and having my first kids. And just the joy of that, even that in I think I had Jude in 1995, I had Jude. That was my firstborn. So even thinking back then, things were even like way better back then compared to now, as far as memories, as far as where I could pull memories back from. Whenever I was in my 18 to 20, before I had Jude when I was 28. So I'll say 18 to 28 was like a great time in my life. I lived on my own. I was doing hairdressing at the time, and then from there I went back to school for respiratory. But in that period, I had my own apartment. I was able to afford to live on my own or with a roommate sometimes. And we would have friends come over, and we'd have little drinking parties, and we would just hang out, listen to music, watch movies. It was never, no one was ever alone. Like, there was very little alone time back then because there was always someone who wanted to do something. We would go walk around on there was railroad tracks close by. We'd go walk the tracks, drink beer, walk the tracks at night, whatever, just get together. Hey, how are you, Esperanza? Esperanza. So we're just reminiscing about the 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, because that's when I grew up. And just pulling back all the good energy and the good vibes, and just when you're not in a good place, how easy it is for us to just go back, pull out a great memory, just sit with it for a minute, and how that can just shift your mood like automatically. So, yeah, so that's great. And I wanted to say, speaking of Esperanza, I pulled cards today and I shared them out with a couple people. But the cards I pulled for today were so great because it came out as a, no, actually what I've been doing is I've been pulling yeah, mine too. I was pulling a card from the previous shuffled deck. I'd look at the bottom first, and then I shuffle and pull a card for today for my own energy. So whenever I was doing that today, I looked at the bottom and it was change, and it was the firefly. Yeah, firefly. No, dragonfly. So then what I did, I shuffled it up, shuffled up, and then I pulled and two came out at once. And then that dragonfly came out again, but it came out with the fairy, and that was what was that one? Purification. So I got change with purification for today. So I thought that was like such a great pair, and that the change came out twice for me today. So I shared it out to a couple people, and it seemed like it resonated. So for today's energy, and yeah, oh my gosh, smoking. That's not a good memory for me, because my mother smoked almost 3 packs a day when I was growing up, and I hated cigarettes, and I ended up being a respiratory therapist who's never smoked a cigarette in my life. But cigarettes were everywhere. You'd walk through the mall, you could smoke. You'd go to a restaurant, you'd sit in this, the smoking section, you could smoke. Go through the grocery store. And actually, when I started in respiratory, they had just taken away, where you could smoke at the nurse's station. And you had an actual smoking room at that point. But at one point, nurses could sit at, oh, you did! Awesome, Esperanza. You could actually, yeah, smoke at the nurse's station. Is that like nuts in a hospital? That's like where it was back then. Yeah. Yeah, I had good parents for sure. Yeah, my mom would like barely let me roll the window down in the car. And our car, I don't think it had air conditioning. It didn't have air conditioning in cars very much back then. If we did at all. So anyway, just some memories. Hi that way, good to see you. Just sitting here reminiscing about old times. Yeah, so that was a great time to grow up. But you know what? We could turn this all around. We could turn this next generation around and just start to bring back some of those things. I know we do try to have game night here at the house with Josh's daughters. Try to make space for that because they really enjoy that. And or drawing and having art time. We're actually creating all 3 of his daughters are really good artists, like way better than me, and they're like in middle school. So we try to like make space for creativity to come in, limit the, screen time or TV time. So, yeah. So if we start to bring these things in, I know it's hard because, with all the other distractions, sometimes it's hard and it's hard to let go. Like I know with Josh's girls, to let them have a little bit further boundary. I mean, we live in a nice small, basically safe town, where people do kind of watch out for each other a little more than maybe other communities, but still it's that letting the child go past a little bit more boundary than what you feel safe for, what's going on in the world nowadays. But in the end, I think everything really turns out okay, and, they need to explore too. How do you expect them to make those great memories if you're not allowing them to explore and get out on their own too? So, yeah. All right, so this was just a little live. Yeah. Oh, yes, for sure. Satarian, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Thanks, everyone, for popping in. This was such a random thing. And actually, it came from something I was just watching or listening to where it says, just push past that fear and just do. And I've really been trying to do that. I still have been struggling a little bit lately, but I thought, well, if I have something to talk about, why not just hit the live and just do it? Someone might need to hear something that's said here today, even though I just got out of the pool hair and no makeup and I'm in sloppy clothes. Oh, well. Yeah, let the kids be the kids, that's for sure. Yes, absolutely. So, All right, everyone, I think I'm about done. I think I'm talked out about my reminiscence of happiness and joy. So today, this is my message at 30 minutes in. Today, I want everyone to go back into their archives of their mind and pull out one of your most favorite memories and sit with it for more than 5 minutes. And you know what? I think out of that, you're going to find within that memory a memory that you didn't remember that's going to come up and it's going to help you today. So, everybody, you have, you know what, Esperanza, hold on. Let me see if I can do this so you can do that. I'm going to add you as a moderator so you can catch people or they can catch you. There you go. All right, type something, Esperanza. There you go. Okay, there you go. So now you could share. Everyone share links or whatever you need to do. So everyone have a great, blessed, light-filled day. Don't let this life get you down. And I'll see you next time. This is Jackie Fox 333, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. I forget how you like stop this live this way. I'm forgetting things already. Live. Maybe I just hit the X. Let me hit the X. All right. Oh yeah, I'll stop streaming. All right, I love you all.